What is up, gamers? Staxwell's back at it again today with another market watch. We just did one yesterday, but that's no excuse not to do one today. We had to hit them with the back-to-back. No Raid Shadow Legends ads. Let's just go ahead, jump straight into it here. We all know LL format is on the horizon. They're going to be introducing it at Worlds, and I'm sure once more people see it played at Worlds, it's going to start being introduced into armories and things like that. I'm sure the format's going to get more popular once it starts getting streamed. So we want to be ready for that when that day comes. Bravo, star of the show, aka Starvo. Cold foil, like the Marvel. It is a Marvel. It's a two-sided card, and the other side is full art. Is $50 for the cheapest copy. But that goes up very, very quickly to like 70. So not a whole lot of stock left on this Starvo. Not a whole lot of time left. Remembrance. Every ban list, this card doesn't get hit, and every time it doesn't get hit, it just goes up. So the non-foils are now $17. Totally crazy. The foils are like $20. I think that this stock will replenish here shortly, but if you don't have a playset of Remembrance, you know, maybe let it cool off a little bit, but you definitely want to get that. You want to pick it up. You don't want to just keep letting it go up and up and up every time it dodges the list, you know. Dustblade, cheapest cold foil on the market that isn't destroyed, is like $70, and there's only like 6 up here. That's kind of crazy. I think that there's a handful of people holding, like, big bag holding this card. So personally, I'm okay with just using like a rainbow or something like that. This price is too crazy to me for a weapon, a living legend weapon, you know. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys willing to pay this much to drip out the Dustblade? I personally don't think it's worth it. Chain cold foil is $91. I think that is totally reasonable. I am very excited to play the Living Legend format. I wasn't around for Chain in CC or Chain at his prime or anything like that. So he just looks like such a fun hero. I actually am excited to jump in and start brewing with him. Spark of Genius, I was watching someone, I think I was watching Fino, and he said that this card was the original Codex of Frailty, and that's so true. That's so true. You get an item from your deck that's worth like what, 4 points of value at least, and then you draw a card. Like, this is, you know, ponder token, draw a card, whatever. This is 100% Codex of Frailty. It just doesn't have Go Again. The boots give you Go Again or High Octane or whatever. This is just a great card all around. I'm sure every Dash is going to play it, and the new Dash could play it because her name is also Dash. So for $3, I think it's total steal. If you don't have a playset of these and you're looking to play mech, definitely pick them up before people realize how good it is. Passing Mirage, the cold foil, is down to $25. This used to be $30. Now it's down to $25. This might be one of those Drone My cards people aren't quite looking at just yet, as we talked about yesterday, and we'll talk about later on in this market watch. People are looking at the Marvel Dragons and things like that. You know, maybe they're just hollowing their deck out one card at a time, and they're just not quite at the side deck yet. They're not quite at the Passing Mirages. So let's get ahead of the curve a little bit here. $25. It used to be like $30, $35, so that's a decent drop there. Winter's Whale cold foil, $14. Much more comfortable paying this price tag as opposed to something like Dustblade. Same rarity, same, like, it's the same, right? There should be just as many Winter Whales as there is Dustblades, right? Or like, did they stop printing Dustblade or something? What am I missing here? But for $14, those who don't know, Starvo plays Winter's Whale. I'm sure Oldham will find a way to be good in Living Legend format because he's good. He's always good. I always think like, oh, there's no way Oldham could be good, and then he was always good, so I'm sure he'll figure it out in LL format as well. $14 for a cold foil weapon, I think, is a very strong pickup. Magnetic Shockwave. This card is always randomly expensive, and I don't ever fully understand it, but I'm always going to report on it. The cheapest copy is like nearly $20 now. So, yeah, something to think about there. Miraging Metamorph is slowly going up as well. I think that a lot of people are turning to Dromai. A lot of people are starting to play the hero, and it's at $15 for the cheapest non-foil. Cheapest rainbow foil is about $20 here, and not a lot of stock left. There's like maybe 10 copies on the market. Cheapest Techno Foundry on the market is $110. I'm not 100% sure how played this card will be. Like, obviously it's a fantastic card and super above rate as far as equipment goes, but aren't a lot of the new heroes going to be focusing on like the Evo mechanic and stuff like that? Maybe Teklovasen won't play it, but like Max Nitro and the new Dash probably will. So I still think it's worth a pickup. I just wouldn't like FOMO into it or anything, because there's a decent chance that the new mechs will focus around the Evo mechanic and the base, and not technically Foundry heart, but time will tell. There's also not a ton left on the market. There's like maybe like 10 under 150, and then there's only like 10 above 150. There's only 20 left on the market. That's not a ton. Skullbone Cross Wrap, $45. I think that this is a decent one because once Lexi's gone, there's a very real chance that Azalea could be a top meta contender, one of the better decks in the meta. There'll just be less things to keep Azalea in check because of Lexi's rotation and things like that. Before, like, Azalea had a fine matchup to Lexi, but Lexi shaped the rest of the meta in such a way that was unfavorable for Azalea, right? Like, for example, because there was a lot of Lexi, there was a lot of Dromai. Because there was a lot of Dromai, Azalea just could not keep up. But, like, that's just one example, right? But there's also many more, right? Because there was so much Lexi, there was a ton of D-reacts, and Azalea struggles into D-reacts as well. But if we move to like a ninja meta or something like that, then we won't have these tall D-reacts. Azalea could come out of nowhere and just start stealing wins. When she does do that, you'll want to have a Scoville Cross Wrap handy, just in case you want to play her. This is just like the things I think about, like trying to think ahead of the market, right? Because if you're just thinking the same way everyone else is, like, oh, Azalea is bad right now, then, you know, you're not going to come out on top of this stuff. Storm Striders is going down a little bit. It's $85 for the cheapest black border rainbow foil. I think this is because a lot of people think Icelander is going to get LL'd. I was looking at the list though, and I was doing the math, and I firmly believe she's going to dodge the LL this time. I called it with Briar. I said she wasn't going to get rotated and to pick up Rosetta. I'm calling it again with Icelander. I don't think she's going anywhere. And even if she does, like, they'll print another wizard. And do you think they're ever going to print a wizard that doesn't use Storm Striders? I imagine not. Good pickup. $85 Storm Striders. One of the best legendaries in the game, honestly. Let's talk Tunic now. You know, it's getting reprinted in the new set, in the expansion slot, or what have you. I think it's definitely worth getting rid of your... I think it's definitely worth getting rid of your non-foil Crucible of War Tunic. It's like at 150 right now. I think when they reprint it, they're going to reprint it to look like this. It's going to be non-foil, but it's going to be black border. So weirdly enough, I actually think that the white border is going to be more coveted at that point, because there will be less copies of the white border available, and it will just be kind of like a quirky, unique tunic. I feel like there's just going to be the black border non-foil tunics floating around everywhere. So I think a white border is actually going to surpass it in price. So if I had a black, personally, I would just trade it straight across for a white if I could. I can't say the same for the Welcome to Wraith foil tunic. I'm holding on to all my foil tunics. I have 2 of them. I'm going to hold on to both of them because this one is going to be timeless, right? If I had a cold foil, I'd hold on to that, obviously. But this is like the highest reasonably obtainable tunic that you could have. So no matter how many times they reprint tunic, ideally they're never going to reprint it as a foil. So definitely think it's worth picking up the foil now rather than later. Heart of Fendal, also cheaper than it's ever been. Again, I think this is probably on the back of people fearful that Icelander is going to rotate. Icelander is the only hero I could think of off the top of my head that plays this in a competitive setting. Again, I don't think she's going anywhere. Even if she does, I think that it is a great card. Anytime they print a hero with less than 40 life, the go-to is, oh, so we're going to play Heart of Fendal in it. Like, example, New Prism, right? When they printed the New Prism, showed it off, first card everyone put in their deck was Heart of Fendal. So I think it's a good card. Invoke Mirror Guy is also disappearing now. The Marvel is up to $40. There's only like, what, 8 or 9 of them on the market. Then they're gone completely. Yeah, these dragons are just disappearing one by one. And again, I think it's just because we're getting so many new Dromai players. You know, we're looking at what heroes we're allowed to play, which ones are expected to be rotating, and we don't have a ton of options left. So Dromai is just something a lot of people are turning to. She also kind of naturally combats Mechanologist, so I think that's another reason people are kind of gravitating towards her. Blazing Yoroi, the Marvel. This is kind of a spicy pick, but you know, once everything LLs or once everything rotates, if we do go into a ninja meta, if you're a ninja playing against, like in a ninja mirror match, this card's actually kind of cracked if you think about it. Like, it full blocks Lava Burst, it always is going to get you 5 value block in a chest piece, which is crazy. Like, what else can ninjas do? They have Flame Scale Furnace that blocks 3. Yeah, sure, you could cover up like breakpoints and stuff, but Blazing Yoroi is always going to get 5 block of value in a ninja mirror. Always. It's so hard to play around this, especially when you're trying to do like long Lava Burst chains or like long Katsu combos. Like, you just have to go to Chain Link 4. So for $35 for our Marvel, I think it's a good pickup. I think it's actually kind of a steal, if I'm being honest. Beaming Blade, this is this month's Armory promo, is at $17. This is definitely going to cool down. Just give it a couple weeks. Unless you are a Bolton's #1 fan, I think just give it a week or two. This card's probably going to fall to like the $8 range, just like all of these other mediocre Armory promos are. You know, just give it a week or two, I think. Luminaris, this card is never going anywhere as far as price is concerned. Well, it's never going down as far as price is concerned. Prism tax, waifu tax, prism stands. This will be $75 long after we're all gone from this earth. So I think this is probably as cheap as it's ever going to get. And it's a fantastic card, obviously. Skeletta, cheapest rainbow foil is $11. Cold foil is like $300 or something like that. But the Skeletta combo is also something I wasn't around for. Sonata, Skeletta, you make like 20 rune chants and you're able to look at the top 20 cards of your deck or something like that. It sounds like a lot of fun, and I wish I was around to play it. So this is something I'm very excited to explore. And you know, for the integral piece of this combo, only $10 for a foil. I think that's a pretty decent deal. So I recommend picking it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, rate, subscribe, and help the algorithm help me out a little bit later, gamers.